Good afternoon, everyone. I, Anuja Tarij, here to drive you all with the topic integration of Salesforce and AWS services. Today, we will mainly focus on integrating the AWS S3 service with Salesforce using Amazon AppFlow application. So here are the topics we'll cover in this presentation: AWS integration services, AWS applications used for integration, brief introduction about AWS S3 service on Amazon AppFlow, followed with a demo and the use cases. As we all know that Salesforce is the leading CRM platform provider in the today's date, and AWS is most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud service, and both aims to deliver connectivity that is seamless, secure, and real time to help us build a new customer relationship. So the power of Salesforce and AWS relationship was a huge change to business to extract the new automations, and they offered the services with the integrations based on security, simplicity, and scale. The innovations and like the partnership and innovations lie in the fields of artificial intelligence, voice, productivity, data sync up, and many more things. Here are some primarily used AWS services. So here is Amazon S3. It can be simply abbreviated as Simple Storage Solution. It is the object storage through a web interface. Next is Amazon Lambda. It is a serverless compute service for processing events. Amazon Redshift. It is a data warehouse product. Amazon Athena. It is an interactive query service, and we use standard SQL in it, and it is a serverless, so there is no infrastructure to manage it. We have to pay only for the queries that we run. AWS Private Link. It provides a private connectivity between VPCs, that is virtual private cloud. And here comes some of the AWS applications categorized into the integration and business purposes. For the integration purpose, some are Amazon AppFlow, Amazon Event Bridge, Simple Notification Service, Simple Queue Service. For the business purpose, there are Amazon Connect, Alexa for Business, Amazon Simple Email Service. Now, next is a brief introduction for the AWS S3 service. So here S3 is abbreviated as Simple Storage Solution, and it is an object storage in a folder structure which can store image, text, or any PDF file or etc. It is very cost effective as it costs only $0.03 per GB, and it is very cheap and reliable way to store the objects. And the basic storage unit of Amazon S3 is objects which are organized into buckets, and each object is identified by the unique and user assigned key. And S3 also has the mechanism to shift away the old data into long-term storage for cost reduction. Next comes the Amazon AppFlow application that automates bidirectional data flows between SaaS apps and AWS services, such as S3 and Redshift, in just few clicks without any code. So here is the flowchart, like how the Amazon AppFlow works. So we can see that it is pretty straightforward, like as the user, we would come in and define our data flow requirements using the UI, and I'll show that how easily we can create it. And once we set up our flow requirements, we will specify that how the flow will run, which data should move from which source to which destination using this flow. And the AWS service will take care about the necessary storage and resources that are needed to execute the flow, and it will all execute and orchestrate the data flow as per the requirement that we have specified in this flow. So here are the steps to configure any flows. So it just takes few minutes to create it, like starting with the naming the flow. Give any name to flow, any specific name, whatever the work the flow will do regarding that. Start with naming the flow, Then, as I said, that we would come in and specify the source and the destination for our flow. And next step is to specify any trigger mechanism. So there are three types of trigger mechanism here present. First is the event based, so where as soon as the data changes in our source system, we'll be able to trigger the flow that transfers the data within few seconds. Next is scheduled. We can set up our data transfer at the predetermined interval, so we can set up our flow as frequently as in a minute, or choose any frequency according to your wish or your requirement. So the last one is on demand. It is a manual trigger where we have to hit any button so that the data will be transferred from our source to our destination. Next step is to map the source fields to our destination fields. So we can provide a mapping interface that will enable us to pick the fields that we have to transfer from our source to destination. And next we can add any filter or any validation rules or any transformation, and also combine the fields to create the new ones. So like to lower down the limit of number of records to pull from our source, we can add any filter, like we have to fetch the records which are created after this specified date or within the specified period. So we can add those filters, and that's pretty much. Once you set up the configuration of your flow, save it, and depending on the trigger mechanism that we choose, the data will be transferred from our source to our destination. So these were the steps to create any flow using the Amazon AppFlow application. Now here comes a quick view of my demo. The user have to create one Salesforce account and Amazon account, and in it they have to create one S3 bucket. After that, they can create a flow using Amazon AppFlow application and apply the validation and filtration rules there uh, as per the requirement, and execute the flow, and the data will be stored in our S3 bucket, and we can access that data using S3 bucket file. Okay, so this was a quick view of my demo. So now we go to the demo. So for creating any first of all, log in into the AWS account and go to the services and hit this S3 to open your S3 service, and hit this Amazon AppFlow to open the Amazon AppFlow page. So this is the S3 page. By hitting this create bucket button, you can create buckets to save your data, and you can also, like, going to the Amazon AppFlow. Now when we will hit this create flow, we will able to create. So first of all, we'll give a name to it, any name for this demo flow, and any description if you want to add. Then hit the next button. Source name, that is, we are fetching the records from Salesforce. Now here we have to create the connection. So on creating this, first of all, select the Salesforce environment in which you are creating, that is production or any sandbox org. Give any name to it. Like here we are giving just Salesforce, and hit the continue button. It will ask you to allow this AppFlow login app in your org, and as soon as you hit this allow button, it will ask for the login credentials, and soon as you log in into it, you'll see, like, under those apps, you'll see Amazon AppFlow embedded login app here, and you have to install from it. And as soon as you install, you'll be able to access this manage app policies, and go to the managers policies and ensure that this value refresh token is valid until revoked. You have to ensure that it should be there. Next, to add some entities, go, like, enable the change data capture. Go to change data capture and add all the entities you have to use in AWS, and hit the save button. So this is how you can create the connection between Amazon AWS and Salesforce. So I have already created one, and here you have to select the that you have to perform this flow on the Salesforce object or any event. So we are doing on the Salesforce object only. So select any object from here, like we are fetching account records from Salesforce and storing in the destination as S3. So select any S3 bucket, and this prefix here comes if this bucket is having any folder inside it. So you can mention that for the path specified that we have to go into this particular folder only. Next step is to decide the trigger mechanism, that it should be on demand or schedule. So we are going with the demand. Now this is the mapping of the fields, as we have chosen account object. So all the account fields are here, whichever present in the org. So we can map directly to them, to the destination fields, add any validation if required, add any filter if required, and this is done when we hit this create flow button. It will create your flow. So I have already created some of the flows as for the demo. Salesforce to AWS, like this is the on-demand one. So like if you go to the account of our org, and we can see that if we want to fetch all these, and we can see that we are having 38 items in total in our org. So when we run the Salesforce to AWS flow, and we hit this run flow button, it will just take few seconds to fetch all the records. So there were 38 records, so we can see it will fetch all the 38 records, and we can access this S3 bucket file by clicking on this link also, and we can also direct to this S3 bucket page by using this link from the destination bucket here. So we'll use it and go to this S3 bucket page. Okay, so like we can see that this is the file which is created now, and when we go to this and open, it will download one file, and we can open it using Notepad, and all the 38 records are saved here with all the fields that we have mapped. So this is how we can access the file from the S3 bucket. This was the on-demand flow, and also I have created one on-scheduled mechanism which runs per minute, and like it has last run on 344. So we can also access this S3 bucket. And go to this. So like we have fetched all the details, and like this is also downloaded, and we can open it on Notepad. So this was the one way of integration, like fetching the details or records of any specific object from Salesforce org to our S3 bucket. Now we can also insert or update or upsert the records using a CSV file from S3 bucket to our Salesforce org. So like we can see, I have created one flow that is inserting these contact records from Raghav Touch to Carrie Jalia using this flow, and I have already run it. It was on demand. So when we come and see the contacts of our org in recently viewed, we can see that Raghav Touch to Carrie Jalia are added to our Salesforce org. So just for a demo purpose, like I have had added this file, Monica Williams to Lee Davis. I have added this file to this particular flow, and this is also on demand trigger. So when I hit this run flow, just a few seconds, it will insert all these records as I have choose to insert all these records. We can also use to update, or we can also use to upsert those records. So when we go to the contacts and refresh our page, we'll be able to see all those records from Monica Williams to Lee Davis. So before it was 9, and now there are 18 records in our Salesforce org. So this was the bidirectional data sync up using Amazon AppFlow application. And we can also access our S3 buckets in our org using API callouts. First, create the name credentials, and for the named credentials, we have to add the access keys of our AWS account that can be fetched from going to the security credentials. And you can create new access keys or use a previously created one. So here one is there previously created. You can also create new by hitting this create new access key, and you'll get the secret key and the access key. Add it in the name credential and save it. And then with this particular piece of code mentioning our name credential here, we can have access to those S3 buckets which is in our AWS account. So here this is the list of our S3 bucket, and here just for demo purpose I have used the status code only. So you can use anything, any detail, any attribute of S3 bucket that you want, and you can access those S3 details here with this API callout. So this was a small demo about the integration. Now next comes the use cases of it. There are two types, like integration use case or business use case. So these following 5 cases focus on Salesforce and AWS integration that is used to solve the customer challenges that involves the range from data transfer to data enrichment or data visualization. So the first one that we have saw here, that the integration application such as Amazon AppFlow, which enables our customers to integrate the data, extend the new capabilities, and extend data to drive the new values or insert and upsert the new values from S3 to Salesforce or Salesforce to S3. Second one is event-based actions by Salesforce. We can improve the sentimental analysis or the visualization or the decision making by using ML. And the third one is, like you can see, we can create one customized component with LWC and Apex to directly upload any file or any attachment to a record into S3 bucket only, not on the primary database of Salesforce. So you can see here that there are four files uploaded here, and you can add more from up by hitting the upload files. And as soon as you hit the store file to AWS, it will store all these files to the S3 bucket, specified S3 bucket, and you can access those from S3 bucket. So as we can see that it is a very useful kind of thing. We can say that because like if we ask that why we should move the data from Salesforce, so we can say firstly the cost of storage, that can be the major highlight, and second one is like despite the reliance on primary database, they have to move to the data to S3, so which will also solve like hassles of sending large files to the client. So the data stored in S3, we can use the secure download URL, and that can be sent to our client, and they will download the attachments directly. And these links also expires according to the set that can be done by the account holder of AWS. So the data security is also maintained. So These benefits have made like increasingly popular to move the data from Salesforce to S3 for the business purpose. Um, Next comes application use cases. In the application use cases, we can see Salesforce Cloud. So we have two options for integrating the Amazon Connect into their agent and supervisor experience. So the first one is the Amazon Connect CTI adapter. Here the technology uses CTI adapter, which includes voice, chat, analytics, transcription, chatbots, AI, and ML capabilities. And next one is Salesforce served cloud voice. It unifies the phone, digital channels, and the CRM data in real time in one centralized console. Next application use case is a boom to the business automation, that is AFB, Alexa for Business. It can be integrated with Salesforce through the centralized console and like centralized console or the voice application. So AFB is integrated with Salesforce through the voice application that is known as Alexa skill, which enhance the business workflows and collaborations. So for example, we can see that how we can use this AFB in business workflows, like we are having one sales team and they are attending their review meeting from their home only. All members are working from homes and all are having Alexa Echo device at their home. So instead of logging into Salesforce platform again to get the information in between of the meeting, they decided to launch the Alexa skill from Alexa Echo. So in between, if they want any information like the latest top 5 opportunities or for the most current wins and losses report, they ask the Alexa, and Alexa skill retrieves the information from the Salesforce and read it to this sales team. And one more thing we can do, that at the finish of the meeting, the sales manager can ask the Alexa to schedule the next meeting in the corporate calendar. So this is how we can use this Alexa for business. So this was all the use cases of this particular integration, and these are some references that I have used for the demo and creating this presentation. And thank you all for attending this. Thank you so much.